Good morning, YouTube friends. It's Travis again, and Happy New Year. This is actually my first video of 2023, and today we're going to be going through Cades Cove in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and we're going to try to stop at all of the different places here. There's a lot of cabins and churches of the early settlers here in the area, and we're going to try to stop at each one of those. But before we get started, let me give you some directions on how to get here. Welcome to the Great Smoky Mountains National Park. Well, I'm trying a new GoPro mount this morning that actually hooks to my visor, so hopefully this works okay. But if you're traveling from the Maryville-Alcoa area, you're going to go through the small city of Townsend, and then you're going to come up here to the Townsend Y. If you go to the left, that takes you back towards Gatlinburg, but we're actually going to the right towards Cades Cove, because Cades Cove is actually our destination for today. You'll pass through this tunnel, and my grandfather, when he brought us up here when we were kids back in the day, he would always blow the horn as we went through the tunnel, so let's do that. And he would always say that that was a signal to the deer up here in Cades Cove that we were coming, and for them to come out and greet us, which we always knew was just silly, but still, it's a good, fun childhood memory. Alright, so we're coming up to the entrance of Cades Cove. It took about 12 minutes from the Townsend Y to get to this point. If you bear to the left here, that takes you back to the picnic area. There's some riding stables, there's a store back there, campground, some other things. And over on the right, or the left, sorry, is the parking area and the kiosk with some park information. And it looks like they do have the gates open already, which is good. They typically open them at sunrise, and usually a little earlier, but it is 7:37. I think sunrise is officially at like 7:46 this morning, so I was trying to get up here early because this does get very busy. This is one of the most popular destinations in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, with millions of visitors every year. So for this particular trail, you need to make sure that you get up here early, or try to come during the middle of the week, because it does get extremely busy. Now, if you go to your left, that is Sparks Lane. That's kind of a halfway point, or not a halfway point, it's a shortcut that you can go through. It's a two-way lane. But we're pulling here at our first stop, which is the John Oliver Cabin. Alright, welcome back. So we're at the first stop, which is the John Oliver Cabin, and we'll be coming up on that in just a second. But just to give you a little background history, Cades Cove Loop is 11 miles, and depending on the amount of traffic, you can probably drive through it as quickly as, I don't know, 45 minutes. My wife and I actually came up here the week of Thanksgiving, that Monday before Thanksgiving, thinking that there wouldn't be many people up here on a Monday. And I was going to do the video then, but there were so many cars that it took us 3.5 hours to get through the loop. So just bear that in mind. Like I said, this is probably the most popular destination here in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park, and millions and millions of visitors come here every year. I love this Cades Cove. I think it's awesome. One of my favorites from a kid, and still one of my favorites today. But it does get extremely busy, so just make sure you plan accordingly. In the summers, a lot of traffic. Weekends, later in the day, there's a lot of traffic. So that's why I'm trying to get up here early, and hopefully we can stop at all these different locations, give you a little bit of information so that you can see it for yourself if you've never had the opportunity to come here. But give me just a couple of minutes and we'll be up here at the cabin. You can probably see it in the distance here, but once we get up here, I'll give you some close-up video. So today is January the 7th. It's Saturday, and it's about 33 degrees, so a little cool. They're calling for rain later today. As you can tell, it's kind of cloudy, which you would expect that if it's going to rain. But anyway, hopefully we can get this done before we get soaked. But here we go. This is the John Oliver Place with some information. I'm not going to read all of that to you, but he was one of the early settlers here. Here is the cabin, and it's a little bit of a walk. Take you a couple of minutes. It's not too bad, but it is off from the road. I don't know if you can see way back in the back there, but that's the loop. There's some cars going through there now, so traffic's already starting to build up. So here in a couple hours it'll be pretty bad. But here is the cabin. Let me walk around here on the outside so that you can see it. There were so many people here that week of Thanksgiving when we came. I had a hard time even getting any video because I try to not put people in the video itself, and it was almost impossible. Of course, here's the back view with the woods and the wooden fence. Actually, that may be the front with the porch. Let's see. Well, there's a porch on both sides, so who knows? If you're going to build a porch, go ahead and build two. One on each side. All right, let's go in real quick. And you probably won't be able to see this. It's going to be extremely dark because I got here way too early. But we'll try to get a close-up here. It's not showing up well on the camera, so it's probably just complete darkness. Let's see if this will open up. Give us maybe a little bit more light. But there is a fireplace over there. I doubt you can see it. And then there is some storage, a little bit of storage under here. And if I'm not mistaken, there is some steps. I'm not trying to turn my light on from my phone. See if that'll help us at all. There we go. So, going up the steps, which is steep. And of course they've got it blocked off, but you can see there was some room up here. And this is a struggle with the darkness, but hopefully you can see some of that. Anyway, here's the steps going back down. That'll teach me to try to come up here so early in the morning. And then try the light here with the fireplace. Ah, that's better. Yeah. And then that was the underneath the steps that I was talking about. So there you have it. Let me shut this back real quick. Close this one again. I am going to go out this little side door. I did want to show you that there is a trail back here. I actually hiked this trail a few weeks ago, And I cannot remember for the life of me. Yeah, okay, it's the, I don't know if you can see that or not, but it's the Rich Mountain Trail. And so basically it makes a loop. It goes, I start over at the Cades Cove entrance where that parking was when I first came in and showed you over on the left. But you start there and it will loop its way around, and then it continues up this way and just makes a loop. So not a bad hike at all. I enjoyed it. But anyway, just wanted to show you this first stop at the John Oliver Cabin. We got several more. I think there's, gosh, probably 12 to 14 stops. So we've got several. And like I mentioned earlier, I'm trying to get these done before traffic gets too crazy and there's too many people at each of these. So we'll see you at the next stop. One thing that I wanted to mention is that access to the park is completely free and Cades Cove is free. But starting on March 1st of this year, 2023, they are going to start charging to park in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park. I think it's $7 a day, $15 for the week, and then $40 for an annual pass, which will be, something that I will invest in. And I know I've heard some grumblings that all my life has been free to come up here, and now we're having to pay to park. But to be honest, it's not a huge expense. And this park does get so many visitors, and there is so much time and money and resources needed to keep this up, to maintain the trails, to when trees fall down, they have to saw those and move them out of the way, and the upkeep on the buildings, and to make sure that they've got enough staff up here to keep people safe and monitor the animals and things. I don't think that's an excessive charge. I think it's something that's probably been needed for a while, just to help preserve this area. Like I said, it is, it's just absolutely beautiful. And so I know it's a pain, but I just wanted to mention that if starting this year, March 1st, if you're visiting for the first time, just be prepared for that. So you can go online and find out some more information and where to go and where to pay for that parking permit. But like I said, it's not a huge expense, and it goes to a really good cause. So just keep that in mind if you come this way. Thanks. Alright, so our second stop is the Primitive Baptist Church, which you actually have to turn off this road and follow this gravel driveway here. Alright, this is what it looks like as you roll up to the Primitive Baptist Church. Park and then show you around a little bit, assuming we can get in there. Cades Cove Primitive Baptist Church, organized June 16th, 1827. Alright, so hopefully you can see in here some of the pews. And up here would be the pulpit. And then we'll go outside here in a minute to the graveyard, cemetery. But so this would have been the Primitive Baptist Church here in Cades Cove. Alright, so here is the cemetery. Oh, there's a buck. There's a buck back there in the back. I know you're not going to be able to see it. Hang on. Let's see if I can work my way up here. I think he's probably going to disappear here shortly. But here is the cemetery. is from the backside with the cemetery. Yeah, I thought that buck might be able to get it. Oh, there he is. He's right off in the distance. You're not going to be able to see him on the GoPro, but he's looking right at me in the woods here. Let's see if I can sneak back around here real quick. You see him walking off in the distance? Hopefully you can. So anyway, that is one of the cool things about Cades Cove, and that's why a lot of people drive through. There are a lot of deer. Occasionally we'll see some bears, black bears, turkeys. So a lot of different types of wildlife. And I mean, this is a nice scenic area, lots of mountains, trees, and as you can see, there's plenty of places to stop. But anyway, let me get back up here to the truck, and we'll go to the next point of interest. Well, as I was driving out to get back out to the main loop, saw a couple more deer here. I don't know if you can see them off in the distance, but they're right there at the end of my finger, just staring at me. So we're gonna make a left, which is the only direction we can go, to get back up onto the main Cades Cove Loop. And our next stop is the Methodist Church, I believe. Yep, Methodist Church. So let's stop here, and once I get parked, we'll get some additional video. So this is the Methodist Church. And there is the cemetery off in the background. And I'll get some more video on that here shortly. We'll see if it's open. Which it is. Oops, sorry. And as you can see, the pews. And the pulpit. And the old piano. What song are they on here? He's My King. Love these old buildings though, and I know that they were, used back in the day, and it's kind of history to me, but still I think it's fascinating. And then here is the cemetery. Side of the building, you can see where the road continues on around that way, and then here's a view of the mountains and the fields in the background. There it is from this side. You can see the steeple a little better. Can't tell if the bell is still up there or not. All right, we're coming up on Hyatt Lane, which is, I believe it's a two-way street also, but this is kind of the halfway point. And so if for some reason you're stuck in traffic and you want to go through the whole loop, take this, because that is your last opportunity. If not, now you're committed to go through the entire loop, and it's dependent on how much traffic is in front of you and how fast or slow that they are moving. But next here is the Missionary Baptist Church. So we'll find a place to park here and get some video shortly. Oh, before I turn this off though, I'm gonna swing around because I think there's some parking over here to the side. But this is Rich Mountain Road. It's closed now, but you can access that in certain times of the year, but it is closed at the moment. All right, so here's the Cades Cove Missionary Baptist Church, founded in 1839. And as you can hear, I don't know if you can see them or not, the crows are giving me a warm welcome this morning. Let's see if we can get inside here. Oh yeah, nice one. This one seems to be a little bit more modern than the others, so probably newer, but definitely a very, very nice pulpit. A view out the windows here. Another door. This is just kind of odd having the place to myself, like each of these stops. I mean, there's still cars driving through, and I've seen a couple other people stop either before or after me, but typically when you get up here, there are so many people that I mean, you kind of have to wait your turn to sometimes get in the buildings. But here's the foundation that was used back in the day. Level that off with a few rocks, and that's what's holding that building up. Definitely wouldn't pass today's codes, but still fascinating. That's got a metal roof on it, so that is definitely updated some. Probably been added later. And here's the cemetery. And I don't know if that is an outhouse, which is what it looks like. It's the first one I think I've seen at any of the locations, so it's back here in the back. But I'm not gonna walk back there. But probably that's what that is, would be my guess. And it may be converted over to storage or something now. I don't know. Don't know if that would be the place I would necessarily want to store anything if it was actually used for an outhouse back in the day. But again, there's a picture of the church. Pretty cool. All right, here's a view of one of the stops here. Just kind of an overview of the mountains and the fields. Not sure if you can see them on the GoPro or not, but there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 deer off in the field. There's some turkeys. this spot here is the Cooper Road Trail. I have never done this trail, but it is on my list of things to do. But it's over here to the right. You can park on the left, and then the trail goes. Looks like it's about 5.7 miles one way. So yeah, that'd be a pretty good one round trip. And here's parking for the what is it? The Elijah Oliver Place. So you can park here and actually walk it this way, but I'm gonna go down to like the next stop, and I'll show you why. There's another place at entrance for Abrams Falls that you can also get there. So the Elijah Oliver Place, it says it's a half mile going in that direction. Alright, and then you go over this wooden bridge, which I don't know why I'm fascinated with these wooden bridges, but I am. I just think they're awesome. Alright, so we're going to make a right here off of the main loop and go to Abrams Falls Trailhead. So this is it is a gravel road, but this is going to take us back to where you can hike Abrams Falls. There's plenty of parking. There are a couple restrooms. Roll the window up here so you don't have to listen to that. And then there's a couple more trails back here too. We'll see those when we get here. And then this is where you can go to the Elijah Oliver Place. This is the second entrance to get to that. So, so when we get up here, I'll show you shortly. All right, so this is the parking area. You can see the restroom facilities over here on the left. They are not fabulous, so just to give you a heads up, but they will do the job. And I'm gonna park here, and then we will go over to where the start of the Abrams Falls Trail is, and I'll show you the other couple of trails, and then we'll go to this cabin. Alright, so here's the entrance to the trail, and this is where we just came from. You see the Mazda in the background. It's 27 years old. Alright, so let's go right here, and I'll show you the different trails that there are. And the only one that I have done is Abrams Falls. So we've got Wet Bottom Trail, Cooper Road Trail, 1 mile that way. We've got Rabbit Creek Trail, which is 5.1 miles. That's one way, so 10.2 round trip, so keep that in mind. Here's Abrams Falls Trails this way. We'll go across the bridge. It's 2.5 miles, so 5 miles round trip. Just some information on the trail itself. Being careful. And then here is one of the bridges, which I still think, I don't know why I'm fascinated with wooden bridges, but I am. Alright, so Abrams Falls is that direction. And then we're actually going to go the Elijah Oliver Place. It's a half mile this direction. So I did a video a couple weeks ago going to Abrams Falls, and that's only the second time I'd ever been there, but it is one of the, I think the best, probably the best waterfall that we've got here in the Great Smoky Mountains. And for some reason that video is killing it. It's got like over 800 views, and for my channel that's impressive. So thanks to all those that have watched that video, and I'll put a link to the end of this one, to that particular video. But I've never been, my entire life, I've never been to this next cabin that we're going to. So this will be a treat. All right, so this is what it looks like coming in from this direction, which, as I mentioned, was Abrams Falls parking area. So let's see here. Yeah, so there's the sign to Abrams Falls Road. And then, see what this says over here. So that says Cades Cove Loop Road. Which that was the first entrance that I showed. And let's see, what do we want to look at first? Let's go look at the cabin first. We'll come back down and see these other buildings. But I think I said this was the Elijah Oliver cabin. And this is the first time that I have seen this one. So I really don't know what to expect. Alright, let's go here first. Let's go on up in here. Hopefully you can see that fireplace. May have had some storage up here. Go out the other side. Man, they've got a lot of buildings up here. They knew what they were doing. Step in here. Look around. Another storage area. And I just noticed this. Let me get this side of it as we're walking this way. I guess this is a spring up here. This is where they got their water. Man, look at that. So there is water running from up there. I'm gonna look at it here in a second. Coming into this trough area. And then running out and down through there. And so they had built that to help the water come flowing down in here where they would have easy access to it. That is nuts. I mean, that's ingenuity at its best. Unbelievable. Alright, let's go back down here to the main cabin. Now, why do I get excited about that? I mean, that is freaking awesome. Back in the early days, before you had indoor plumbing, but you had to have water. So let's go around to the front. I really want to go up those little steps, but let's go through the front. And the fence up Maybe it's seen some better days. Alright, so there's a little room on the right. Be fine with me. I'm a little person, so that'd be perfect. But then you get into the main living space. Probably not be able to see it, but there is a fireplace, windows, and oh, they've got it locked, but it's got an upstairs, I'm sure of it. Oh, I really want to go up. I don't know why I like going upstairs too. And then here's the little steps to get down there. And then look at that little peg right there. I mean, they would have used that for something, to hang up tools or clothes or something. I want to go up there so bad. Oh well. Let's go ahead and look at the other buildings. I'm sure that's something that the Park Service put in, but a couple benches to kind of rest up here. I mean, how is it that I've never been to this cabin? I guess because it was a half-mile walk, and I'm thinking that, man, who wants to spend that kind of energy? But since I've been hiking all last year, half mile's really not much of anything, but let's see. Will it open, or is it bolted? No. They've got it screwed shut. Let's get the GoPro in. That little design, though, works. Will this one open? Oh, they've got it screwed shut, too. Come on. Let me guess, this one's gonna be screwed shut too. Yeah. Alright, let's see if go this direction. Most of you are probably watching this and you're not fascinated, but to me it's just crazy. I mean, you know how hard it would have been to build something like this back in the day with the tools that they had? I mean, that is a lot of work. And you didn't have a forklift or a crane or anything to help lift those. That's just good old maximum effort is what you get on that. Let's go to this last little building. Well, all kinds of storage. I mean, you had to have places to put all the tools and your crops. I don't know if they hung up like tobacco or what they may have hung up in here. Possibly if they had smoked meat for the winter and stored it and you had to lock it up so that animals couldn't get into it. But, man, I'm pretty stoked about this one. One last view of the cabin here before we head back out. This is a fairly nice piece of property too. Got a better foundation than what the churches were on, but you got this. I mean, good thing we don't have many earthquakes here in Tennessee. All right, that's it. All right, so we're about to pull in the Cable Mill Historic Area, and this is the Visitor Center. But look right here, if you can see it as I'm pulling in, there's a bunch of 3 deer right here in the field. I don't know if you can see them, but they're right there. I mean, it's crazy. That's one of the things I love about this place. I mean, nature is right in your face, and you can enjoy it. This particular place, I have not stopped in probably, gosh, I don't know, 30 years, just because it's always so busy in the summer, and there's only a handful of people here now, which is good, which is fine with me, because I, you know, kind of feel like an idiot talking to myself on the GoPro with people watching me. But we'll see what kind of video we can get down here. But as you circle around, like you can see right here in front of us, this is the visitor center, and then the parking area is over here, and then there is restrooms to the right, and then there's plenty of parking. And if you go on up, there's some bigger parking spots for RVs and campers, so don't worry about that. Let me park here out of the way and get situated. Well, I'm going to try to get a little closer video of the deer up here if I can. You can see them off in the distance. I don't want to get too close and scare them off, though. But here's the parking area. Here's the bigger parking spots over here for the RVs on that side. So you can see there's a few people here. And then the restroom facilities. It's just, I mean, deer are that close. That's crazy. Well, the rain is starting to move in, but hopefully it won't get too bad. But here is the visitor center. So they do have information, and it's a gift shop, so you can get books and other types of things to remember your trip here to Cades Cove in Tennessee. Alright, so here's the first little spot. Looks like it's a storage area. I do have it locked up, but let me go in here and see if you can see some of the tools and things that they have stored in here. This is actually, I believe, they've got it set up for a blacksmith shop. So you can see the anvil and then where they stoke the fire. And then they've got it locked up so nobody will steal any of this stuff. But yeah, it's the blacksmith workshop. And then as we come over here, you'll see they've got some benches set up in a circle. And then I'm going to show you a couple other things which I think is pretty cool. And it looks like they moved it since the last time I was here. It used to be mounted right here. And now they've got it over here. So I know in years past in the summer, I'm assuming they still do it, but they would come in, they set up like people that reenact what life would have been like during the, you know, the old days. And this is a device where this would spin around. You hook it to a mule, and it would walk around in that circular path that you see over there, and it would turn this, which in turn would move these two, and you would put sugar cane through it, and it would squeeze out the sugar cane so that they could make sugar, I assume, out of it. But it's a pretty cool little process. I'll be honest, I'm not 100% sure what this is. It's been so long since I've been up here, I don't even remember this piece of it. But it's pretty neat when they do have people up here like explaining what's going on. It's extremely interesting. So let's swing back around here. That's where we came from, and then we'll hit that on the way out. I do remember this. This is one of the newer cabins, I guess, from back in the day. Man, I hope the grist mill's open. We'll see. Probably is not, but we'll give it a shot here in a minute. Let's go down here first. So here would have been another storage area. And just to let you know, if you're here when it's warmer, these signs, please use caution. Snakes live in around historic structures and rock piles. So do be very careful. That would have been a storehouse. I'm hoping that, I know it's raining a little bit. I kind of hope it keeps up like this, because that tends to keep more people away when it's cold and raining. So I'm actually enjoying this. And the last time I was here, you couldn't even get in here. They had it kind of glassed off. You can see where these were at. It was glassed off, and you could only look in, and they had stuff set up. So you weren't able to come in here, which is cool, because I don't think I've actually been inside this. So that's a change that they've made. And I'm going to see if I can turn my light on again. Bear with me just a second. If that helps at all. Can't really see that much anyway. But that's got to be a set of stairs. Maybe they're on the other side. Find out. There's the table. This is known as the Becky Cable House. Lisa and Greg purchased the land from John P. Cable. Built this house in 1879. I mean, look at that. The old stove. That's pretty cool. They put that out from the fireplace, so that was probably something added later on. Turn my flashlight off so I don't run my battery down. Come out here on the little porch, which I don't know what this would have been used for, but it's a neat little window. And go back in here. Another little fireplace. Yeah, you just don't have access to this, so that's pretty cool. So I just want to check something here. Does this have... There is an upstairs. So this is the access to it, and they have it locked. Okay. Well, still. Able to get in there, and I haven't been able to do that before, so that's cool. As you can see, there is water running down through here. Here's the outside. Yeah, it is raining a little bit, but I hope that's going to keep the crowds down, because I like to get out here by myself, especially when I'm talking to myself on camera. A little embarrassed by it. When I'm hiking by myself, it's not that bad, because I can talk and nobody hears me, but when you get in public places like this, it makes me a little nervous. So here's another area, which I would assume they probably, yeah, I was about to say, they probably parked the wagons underneath it. And then they had more storage there. So this one little stop here, you get to see a lot of different buildings, which is pretty cool. And I think that's what makes it so popular. Now this is going to be muddy, but I still want to walk around here. We'll tough it up for the day. I didn't wear my hiking boots or anything. I just got my tennis shoes on, so. Let's see. Oh, they got everything boarded up. I don't know if I can see in this one. I mean, they've got it almost completely, like even the gaps are boarded. So they must have some stuff stored in there. Look like probably hay up there that you would have accessed. I'm trying to find a slot here that maybe my GoPro will fit in. But I can't really find one. Let's see if it'll look right there. See through to the other side, but you can't really. There's nothing in there that I can see from the naked eye. But that would have been storage up there. It's probably where they kept hay for their horses or cattle. This one we can get into. And they would have kept some animals in here because that looks like a trough where they would have fed them. And then as you go back through here, it's just more places that you can walk along the river, which is pretty cool. Alright, well, even with the weather, there are several people starting to pull in up here. So I'm trying to get back to the grist mill so we can film that and I can talk to the GoPro without embarrassing myself in front of others. But again, there's another shot of that. And then the little storage building. And this is going to be locked up. I figured it would be. It's closed. Dang it. But anyway, you can kind of get an idea. That was the grist mill. So the way this was designed is that the water is running down this way, down the creek. They built this trough out of wood, which would haul the water here, which would turn this wheel, which it's not now because it's so old, and it would turn some gears inside, and they would use that to grind up into the cornmeal. They would grind it up into cornmeal and use it for like baking. Which, to me, the fact that they were able to harness water to help alleviate a lot of the manual work. I mean, it's just an awesome feat of engineering based on what they had and the technology. And here's like what some of the old stone wheels in there that they use that grind it up into cornmeal. So you imagine having to try to replace those, how heavy they are. That's a really old one. There's a couple more. As you can see, people throwing some coins down in there. But I mean, look at the amount of water that this was able to hold. And then this was an access panel, so they could put a board in here that would then make this water even higher, and then they could crank this board up to allow more water to flow through if they needed to, and if they didn't, then they could shut it back down. So, I mean, I think that's one of my favorite stops, is the grist mill. Just based on the engineering. I mean, I know we've got smartphones and the technology we have today. I mean, we've got, you know, airplanes, and we can send people into space, and I mean, we've come a long ways. But man, based on what was available back in the day, this is incredible. And you can see where they built like the whole little canal that runs down through here, and it's out of wood. And wood and water don't mix, so I'm sure they had to replace that quite often. And they probably had a way to waterproof it as well, to a certain extent. But here's like the last little facility with some of the equipment. Looks like they've got a lot of it locked up. Ooh, this one's open. Let's see what's in there. An old wagon. Hopefully you can see that. And then in here, I can't tell because I'm not filming. Some more old equipment. And then plenty of storage up here on the top. Like I said, I'm assuming that's probably where they put like the hay to keep it dry, and then they could bring it down to feed the livestock. Some lumber that they would have had to use to either build things out of or probably burn during the winter. An old wheelbarrow. Let's see here. I mean, just lots and lots of old wood. There's some old sawhorses. Don't think you can see them with the lighting. Old table. So this looks like it might have been like a workshop where they would have built what they needed to use. And then I'm gonna end up dropping my GoPro in here. I won't be able to get it back. That's what I'm worried about, because that would suck. Some more machinery. I feel like that's probably what was used to gather up the hay. You would run it across the field and these things would pick it up. Here's a wagon. Almost as old as my 96 Mazda pickup truck. Almost though, not quite. And then here on the back side is the water. So we've still got a few more stops to go before we get out of the cove, but this is one of the better ones as far as just like there's so many things to see at one time. So highly recommend this, assuming it's not overly crowded and you can get in here. So once we get back out on the road, I'll pick up on some other stops before we get out of the loop itself here at the cove. Well, I was about to head out, and then I noticed that there are even more deer out here now. I think that's why a lot of the traffic is starting to come in here. But I don't know if you can see them. I'll stand still here for a second. I don't want to get too close and scare them away. But I count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 off in the distance. And I mean, we're right here at the parking lot. As you exit this parking area, you want to go straight here, or if you were coming through the loop, you would continue to make a left here. If you go right, that is the Parson Branch Road, and it actually runs all the way into the Cherokee National Forest. And there's a cabin back there. They've got it blocked off right now for the season. I think there's a cabin back there. I've actually never been down that road, believe it or not. But and there's a couple of trails that I plan to hike later this year. So hopefully I can get some footage of what that road looks like in that cabin, and then the trails themselves at some point. All right, and just for reference, if you had taken Hyatt Lane as a shortcut, this is where it would have come out at. And this is the Dan Lawson Place. So let's stop here and see what his cabin looks like. Alright, here's what his cabin looks like as we come up on it. There are some people here, so I'll have to be careful on my videos. Alright, let's go in here. It is rainy and slick. Alright, so he had a pretty good front porch here. And then here's a little area, which I just don't know what these little windows are for. I know it's some kind of an easy access panel, but maybe you close the door for the night and get settled down, and then you could still get some heat maybe coming from the fireplace, because it would have been cold out here without it. And then it's just so dark. There's the fireplace. There's the front, and then a little bit of storage under the steps here. And guess what? There are some stairs. I gotta turn this. I should have brought a flashlight. Dang. I thought that at some point though, it would have been light enough where we could see. And look at these little stairs. Holy cow! You gotta watch. I mean, I'm a little person. Dang. All right. So this is the upstairs. They've got it blocked off, of course. So have a good view back here. Pretty big area. I don't know if you can hear it, but the rain is hitting the roof. And man, that's like tranquility. I stay here too long and I'll go to sleep. Alright, so let's see if we can get back down these steps. I mean, look at that. That is a tight little squeeze. So I'm going to say the people weren't very big back in the day, because they would have had a hard time maneuvering. Let me turn my flashlight off here before the battery goes dead. That would not be good. Alright, then we'll come out here. Another little area. And I assume this was probably added on later. This looks like the original exterior wall. And then this was added on at some point. But, I mean, that would have been a tremendous amount of space as an addition to the cabin. Gotta be careful, because, I mean, you can see it's pretty dang muddy. So there's, I'm assuming, the back side of it. And then had a little storage area here as well. And I see these up here, so I know they had to hang up either tobacco or they had to hang stuff up to keep it dry. So I don't know if it was food. I'm assuming that it was. They probably did have to put some of their tools out here. Oh, and there's like 2 deer right here in the field where that truck's at. Oh, there's more buildings back here. Okay. Dan Lawson. High scale. The high roller back in the day. We got another spot here. Some more storage. Wooden fence here. I mean, look at all just the property that you would have had. Of course, a big old barn area. So this is where I assume they would have kept their animals and maybe some of their tools. This is not of that time period. Not that I need to tell you all that, but so just some extra boards that they've got stored in here that I'm sure that they have to patch to keep these buildings up over time, because this wood will deteriorate. I mean, the fact that it's held up as long as it had is incredible. Ah, that little door does work. Look right here if I can do this without falling. What was in here? Oh, so they got shelves out here, so maybe they're canned goods. And when I say about canned, they typically had them in jars. But my grandparents used to can vegetables when I was a kid, but it was the canning process involved like jars, and put them in water and under pressure to seal them. I don't know if you can see the 2 deer there. I just want to see where this went. I see this little trail going back here. I assume it goes nowhere, but while we're here, let's see. I mean, where does this go? Like, I thought I was going right here and there was going to be like something else. There's a squirrel that about gave me a heart attack. Alright, well, like, I'm not going to go very far on this, but I don't know why there would be a trail headed back through here. And I'm not aware of a hiking trail that would start at that cabin. Let's go back here for a minute and see. Well, that trail continues on back here, but I swear, like, I don't know of anything else that would be back here. I feel like I'm wasting my time, but I may just have to edit this out of the video completely. Yeah, it goes nowhere. It does look like it wanders off back in this direction, but I can't imagine there's anything back here. But here I am, going back through here. Narrow little spot. I didn't bring any of my hiking gear. So, yeah, I feel like there's been enough people like me that wanted to see where that came out. And this is what you get. And it's nothing. So, there you go. Let's head back to the truck. There's those two deer that we saw earlier. And this is literally how close you can get to them. I mean, this is nuts that you can get that close. Well, this is definitely not our last stop, but it is by far my favorite. And the reason is because this is the Tipton Place. T-I-P-T-O-N, Tipton Place. And this is where my family is from. So we will stop and get some video of that. We'll definitely start here with the main cabin first. So here was a little storage area. They probably either parked one of their wagons or put probably their wood for the winter. And as you can see, awesome foundation. Lots of moss up on the roof. Fireplace. Here's some information. Go back here into this room. See what the back looks like out here. Walk around. So there was some additional storage. Go back in, come out here on the porch. And then, I don't know if you could see it because it was kind of dark, But there is a stairwell over there. We're going to go up that in just a second. I'm coming out here to see what this looks like. It had its own little entrance here. Let's see if we can get up here. I turn the light on first. Woo. So we actually have access up here. So you can see space there was. And then there's an extra area, which I don't know what this would have been used for. See if we can see out the window down below. But yeah, pretty big cabin. There's the storage building outside. Let's see if we can get back down the steps without killing myself. Here's another storage building. And then, as you can see, it was next to the water. So let me go across the road first. We'll go down there. There's one more little building. Inside this one. Back here to the back. So as you can see, the Tipton Place, pretty nice. I don't want to brag or anything, but you can tell this is where our family came from. Now, rumor has it that our family split into two at some point, and one side was wealthier and the other not so wealthy. And people always ask me, what side of the family were you on? Well, I'm driving a 96 Mazda pickup that's 27 years old, so I'll let you come to your own conclusion on which side I ended up on. So this is where they could have kept the animals, because there's a feed trough. Here was the predecessor to the Mazda. I've got the Mazda B4000 1996. This was the Mazda B1 from 1883. Another feed trough. Go back here. I mean, and having water on the property all the way around is pretty nice. Oh, there's a ladder. Oh, snap. There's two ladders. But I've got to hold the GoPro with one. And hope these wooden pegs hold up. So I'm not going to climb up all the way. There's the storage. And then let's see if I can go up one more rung. There's the other side. So I feel like that's where they would have put the hay, and then they would knock it off into this area, and then the horses could come and feed on it from there. That's my guess. I don't have any ideas, but that's my guess. Alright, so I apologize for the shaky video, but I'm trying not to fall. Alright, so just kind of making my way down here to this last little building. I'll give you an idea of the view. I mean, you couldn't beat that. I don't know if you can see it off in the distance, but a little bit of the fog that's building up in the mountains, hence the name of the Smoky Mountains. So here was another one. So definitely looks like this would have been somewhere where they would have hung up their tobacco or whatever other crops they would have had to get up off the ground and keep dry and store for the winter, and some shelving for some additional storage. But yeah, just right here next to the water. I mean, a ton of that. Alright, I know I'm a little biased, but I think the Tipton cabin here is the best. But you can put in the comments below if you disagree or if you do agree. I'd be interested to know. And as I was driving out to the next stop, there's some deer right here. Hopefully you can see those on the GoPro. I don't know if I can get any closer than that or not. Alright, and the final stop as far as the cabins go, it is the Carter Shields cabin. And I think we can park, yep, right here. Here is the Carter Shields cabin. Nice little front porch here. Fireplace, which I don't know if you can see on camera. Go out the side here. There is the chimney for the fireplace. The back side. Of course, he was on the water too. I mean, I guess that was probably one of the prerequisites for building a cabin, is make sure it's next to water. There's the back. I mean, I like his style. Simple, but effective. And, of course, here's the storage underneath the steps. I gotta get my light. Next time I'll have to bring my flashlight. My actual flashlight. So let's look in here. Let's see. So not much, but a little bit. Every little bit of storage helped. And then there's the fireplace. Maybe that is a little easier to see. So is it my light that's helping? I guess it's helping a little bit. Alright, well, let's see. Oh, snap. Alright, so we can go up here. Now, if you'll look, they don't give you a whole lot of space for your foot to hit. So it's not like we have today. Only about half of your foot's getting on that step. So, I guess they didn't want to waste the space. But, yeah. The fireplace is there on the back side. Turn my light off again. And then let's see what we got. See out the window. Look out a pane that doesn't have a crack in it. So yeah, not a bad little cabin. I like it. Like the fact that it's got an upstairs and it's got steps and I can get to them and I wasn't locked out. But man, be careful going down these things. They are narrow. And then this sophisticated locking device here. Whoop. Did you see that? Yeah, it makes a sound. Whoop. And he said the heck with steps, he just put a couple of rocks there. That's the way to do it. I mean, who needs steps? And then the foundation. But yeah, another nice little cabin. Good job. We'll head back here to the truck. I believe this over to the left, that's where you would come out at if you had come through that first shortcut, Sparks Lane. It would have come out right there. But as you exit the cove, you want to stay to the right. Seen this spot in the past while driving by here, and I could see that there was some fencing around the set of trees, and I'm just curious if there might be a small cemetery down here. So I'm just gonna walk down real quick. You can see I parked back here off the road, so it's not that far, and it has quit raining for the moment, which is nice. But I thought, while there's not a lot of traffic and I'm almost done going around the loop, I'd stop out here just to see. So I would assume this is a very early cemetery with some markers here, but it's basically just some rocks for headstones. I can't tell if anything had ever been marked on them or not. If it had, they've deteriorated. But that's the only thing I can imagine that would be, that they fenced this off to preserve it. And I always assumed that's probably what this was, but I just wanted to come out here and see for myself. I've never taken the time to do it. And what a sight. Exit Cades Cove Loop, you would come up here and make a left to get it back out to the main road. But I'm actually going to make a right just to kind of go down here and show you the store and what else is down through here. So you've got the ranger station over here on the right, building on the right where that vehicle is parked. And then the campground is on up there forward. And this is, of course it's not open now, but I'm gonna stop and kind of show you the area. So let me get parked here. So as I was saying, that is the ranger station over here, and I think you have to pay to park there, or pay there to go up here and camp. And then over here is the picnic area, and then this is the store. So let me walk around. I just want to show you this real quick. Everything's closed right now because it's out of season, so there's just not enough people up here. But they do have bike rentals, so remember that. And then they've got multiple entrances to the store. I think it's around on the other side, but one of the cool things I wanted to show, assuming I'm going back here the correct way, yeah. So they do have restrooms. They are closed right now as well. But they've got this amphitheater back here. So usually especially in the summer, they will have special programs and things going on. I'm sure during, like, maybe at the campground, they may have like some special showings. I feel like they've got the ability. There's some speakers up here, and I'm assuming that they can project up on this screen. So, but this is just I've always remembered that this is just a cool little area. So if you didn't know that was here, now you do. So just kind of walk around here. Like I said, everything's closed, but still kind of wanted to give you an idea, because when everything's open, it'll be crazy busy. So here's the entrance to the, I believe it's the store. No, that's the bike rentals. That's the bike rental shop. So I think the store may be on the other side. And then let's go around here. Oh, I'm completely wrong. That has been changed over to nothing but the bike rentals. So that's all bike rentals. If you got to read the signs, I wouldn't even read. But here's the store and the gift shop. And then right through here, if I remember, you enter and they've got it's a soft serve ice cream machine, which in the summer is phenomenal. But again, this is the bike rental. The amphitheater's in the back. Of course, there's restrooms on the back side, and then you've got the store, and then the ice cream shop, and then they've got vending machines. But anyway, just wanted to show you that. And as you exit from the store, this is where, on the left, is where we came out of the Cades Cove Loop. So this is what it would have looked like if you had decided just to leave Cades Cove. To the left here are some riding stables, which I doubt they are open at the moment. Some additional like picnic area, and then come up here and make a right-hand turn, and this is where you would exit and go back down to where the Townsend Y is, and then make a left and then go back towards Townsend, or continue straight and go to Gatlinburg. Alright, well, I hope you enjoyed the tour of Cades Cove. It's definitely one of my favorites. It's been one of my favorites since I was a kid. But like I mentioned earlier in the video, just make sure if this is on your list of things to do, that you try to come early, possibly during the week if possible. Weekends are peak times. The summer is definitely, it's packed, and there's a lot of traffic, and it typically goes very, very slow. So make sure that you're not in a hurry. Just come up here, enjoy yourself, drive through, stop at some of the places. You don't have to stop at all of them, but stop at a few, and hopefully you got a chance to see all the different places that you can stop. And you know, if you did enjoy this video, please hit like. If these are videos that you enjoy maybe seeing in the future, I'm going to be doing some more hiking this year, hopefully. Please subscribe, and anytime I put out a new video, it'll just give you a notification that it's out there. So I definitely will not be flooding your YouTube with tons and tons of videos. I think I might have like 15 or 16 out there that I did from last year, so there won't be a ton. But if you do, you know, please subscribe, and you know, pass the word, and you know, put some comments down below. Let me know if there's some other places here in the Great Smoky Mountain National Park that you would like to see that I don't have a video on yet, because I am looking for some feedback and some different trails that I can try this year. So anyway, until next time, we'll see you then.